After one of many new moons from the unrelenting night, the boy finally decided to leave his stupor and walked out of his cave atop the mountain. Dawn greeted him with bright smiles and twinkling eyes. Surveying the plains below his high mountain, he could see the dancing of the grasses, the sturdiness of the swaying trees, the beasts foraging the fruits of the land, and the beasts smelling the air for their prey. This young boy could see the river spreading out as veins to many roots, as the key that would unlock many new journeys and tales under the stars, and he could see the rumble of the earth below it, pushing his high mountain ever further into the sky. By his feet lay a flower plucked from winds from many moons ago. He held it in his palms and left his solitude. Guided by the gold of the sun, the boy clambered down many rocks, evading the nests of the deadly behinders to stay alive, tearing through sickly, choking vines and dodging many a gilded fang. Wetting his foot in his folly, he stumbled across the twisting river. See, the boy's head was bowed, unsettled by the flapping of the ostriches behind him, the curtain of his eyelids veiling night upon his mountain. As this happened, the crow watched on from his branch, scornfully, and rebuked him with sharp words. "Oh, how I mourn your folly, young one! I have seen with mine eye the dirt that you defile thine mountain with. Bring me thine orchid, as is my right, lest thou river runst black through the lands, lest I depart from you to my kind and croak among thunder and lightning. For I, wisest of birds, lay claim to this blossom by right. Place now thine orchid in the stream, so I may fly above and sight this bright bud as if it were mine alone. The hut that I owe to you, mountain boy, will be found in the heart of the forest." And so, the boy placed the flower in the stream, watching through ripples and ice as it bounced clumsily from pebble to pebble down the mountain, and with a cackle the crow departed. So dwelled the boy in dancing forests full of peculiar passions, amidst beasts strange to man and cock-eyed astrologers of the sun. Oft did these astrologers howl at the stars and moon, laying swathes of woodland to light during the night and living as poisonous recluses by the day. Frenzied by all dance and song native to the woodland, it was the custom of these cock-eyed to spend many hours filling the forest with their cries of despair, practicing speaking in unison and shattering evermore of the stillness in the grove. Oft did the racket of these foul loggers encroach on the boy's hut, but never dared they to enter, or perhaps their sun-blindness left them unaware of his hideaway altogether. It was the religion of these astrologers to pry the sun with their eyes and monitor all the processions they could see. They spoke of the great catastrophes to come, the disasters that these processions were causing in their world. "Disaster! Disaster! Disaster!" they cried frantically as the light trembled inside their eyes. "The changes of the world are the changes of the sun. This new zodiac you speak of is nothing but the flares of our sun," said they to the astrologers of old. "All is the patriarch in the sky, the patriarch who crushes us with strength we are not fit to match, who feeds us our sickly crop. Let it be known that our brute rule will replace the sun. All hail our brutes. How we lust for such a brute to replace this sun, with strength we are not fit to match. May we continue to dance in these forests," they would screech with ugly words. For these astrologers were sickly and blind, and they danced for the brute of the forest, laying traps through the wood so they might snare the unsuspecting and feed their frenzy for further moons. These astrologers were abrasive to the ways of the boy, yet he did not fear them. Often did the boy wander down to meet the animals of the forest by the stream, so that they might drink cleanly from the stream, avoiding the filth that contaminated the waters, until, one day, a bewildered astrologer interrupted his lesson rudely. Words like sandpaper oozed out from his mouth full of worms. "What has triggered this sermon, close-minded fool, antagonist of the sick people? You teach these animals to drink from the forest stream cleanly? You lead these animals away from what nature has given them. You rebuke the river which brings life. Quit disgracing your mouth, lest your animals become noble and defeat sickness, lest your animals become strong. The more we enable strength, the more the world becomes evil, so scatter now, before you make me wake our brute," so said the astrologer, menacingly. "You speak as a babbling imbecile," mocked the boy quickly. The water you drink truly is foul, but what sparks my interest most is your use of my own words. The music the stars sing truly reaches peculiar corners. You fail to see that even the bird is the best friend of the worm, and the gazelle truly runs quickest in front of the lion. You dance for a blind king and hope that he may replace the light. Tell me, does your brute see where the lightning will strike? When the rivers will burst their banks? What I hide in my eyes? Sight is no more, said the imbecile with a huff, and he got up to leave to tell his brute of the sermon of the boy, who in further folly had spurred hazard. So he fled down further rocky paths in flight of the brute and his astrologers, encountering ever more foul creatures and jarring terrain. Years it took the boy to descend the great mountain, living among the fishermen and the fruit foragers, the axemen and the carpenters. He encountered many a sickly foe in that great mountain forest. His first enemy was the drunken giant, who took the boy to be his prisoner until the boy interpreted the giant's dreams and the giant had become a wooden axe. Among the other foes were the woodworms from the gates of the field of disgust, a giant wasp that had swarmed fast from a great storm of revenge, and the four-faced king, whose head span everywhere it went. The boy slew this king after holding his breath through the potent clouds of confusion gases and beheading the monster. One day, just as the boy's ears were becoming well accustomed to the forest, finally he stumbled across a clearing which was vast and full of pleasant grasses, rolling over gentle hills for as far as the boy could see. Here, in the clearance, a great eagle screeched towards the boy and swooped down viciously, rearing its talons as if to strike and pluck the boy up towards a great height so that it may drop him against the rocks. The boy moved not, and as the moment approached, where feather could have touched skin, the eagle pulled backwards and landed. It is you, after all. I was told of you. The boy who had emerged from the forest, yet was birthed in the sky, spoke the eagle perceptively. Very well, I shall take you to the canyon of my riddles, and if you have truly evaded the woes of the cloud of confusion and have emerged from the forest with your resource intact, you will pass my riddles. And should you fail, I will drop you against the rocks. So the eagle took the boy before the gates of the great canyon, ascending up to his seat on his plinth. He eyed the boy with his sharp eyes and told him thus, Here lies the gates to the great canyon, the jaws of my wisdom. None but the wisest and most brave will come beyond this point. Those who seek my abode falsely owe to me what is mine by right, and I will break their bones against the rocks as a beast. Beyond these jaws you will find the spring of possibilities. May you bathe in it cleanly and without defiling yourself. You will find that great unchanging path amongst the rocks that will lead you wherever you choose. If you wish to proceed, step into this square. The boy stepped forward, into the square within a square that was marked on the ground below. End of part 1.